Welcome to Edge Hill House, home to the Gloucester Women's Club since 1913. This beautiful house was built in 1750. At that time, it was only 1.5 stories tall. So imagine it without the lower level, just the top 2 stories. We're going to take you on a visit through each of the floors. Starting with the top floor, we have aspects of colonial life. Then we go to the second floor, where the great room or parlor holds items from a mixture of decades. The lower floor, or ground floor, has been dedicated to practical matters, both past and present. On the outside, we see women washing clothes, churning butter. These strong women provided hard work to support colonial life.
Welcome to the bedchamber of also known as the attic. This room, immediately under the sloping roof, had sleeping quarters for the entire family. These authentic 18th century beds had mattresses stuffed with feathers and are reported to be very comfortable. Each family member had a separate sleeping space. The fireplace heated the room. Notice the father's way of keeping warm. This covered dish with a long handle is a bed warmer. It was filled with hot coals and moved under the sheets and under the coverlet to warm the bed. Winter nights were quite cold. The fireplace was the only source of heat. Father checks each member of the family before he retires. And let's direct our attention to the floor below.
Even with its fine moldings, this room was once more rustic, the site of all family activities such as sewing, reading, eating, and playing music. The violin was standard for most households. Rudimentary in its beginnings, this room has become more formal throughout the years. Much of the furniture that you see around here has been collected over many decades. However, one colonial piece deserves our appreciation. It is the settler's bench, which can be either a seat or a table. Through the years, this great room has lent itself to holiday decorating, as you can see. Its first occupants used natural greenery, such as pine, holly, magnolia, and a bit of mistletoe. Then, influenced by the British Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, trees came into the American homes at holiday times. This happened around 1830. Notice that the tree is decorated with lace and ribbons mostly. Electricity came to this house around 1930, so now the 21st century adds more sparkle, as you can see from the tree. As we approach the steps, you can see this window. Once exterior is now interior. It's important to notice that several of the windows have their original glass. These steps are old, but the chair lift is the 21st century. We now go to the basement.
A traveler on horseback could get mighty thirsty riding over the dirt roads of early Gloucester. He would know that Mr. Field's store, a place called the Hill, was licensed to sell ardent spirits. So he could head for this building, slake his thirst, and lift his mood. The traveler could also buy things. On the shelves were boots, medicines, paints, dry goods, glass, flatware, and dishes. The earliest retail merchants in this house lived upstairs with their families. We noticed these special folding panel doors as we enter the large room. They're very prized and special because they're only one of 6 authentic sets in the state of Virginia. This house sat on top of a hill, significant because Gloucester cannot claim too many hills. It is generally flat land. The 1830s creation of this room brought a bundle of human energy. Weaving and spinning produced items to answer some of life's necessities. Being near the juncture of two well-traveled roads made the store convenient for travelers. Customers were plenty. As the years wore on, owners and work changed. This became a production shop for coaches and gigs calling for work with wood, leather, and metal. Early in the 20th century, this house began to take on its role as local resource. The Agricultural Association of Gloucester bought the building. It was not fully used, and making payments was difficult. Meanwhile, 4 feisty women incorporated as a club in 1913. They rented this level for meetings. My colleagues will now share some highlights of the Gloucester Women's Club and its work in Edge Hill House for more than 100 years.
In the 1920s, women were also more involved than ever in legal and real estate operations. The Gloucester Women's Club, in a move that was a bit unusual for the time and very progressive, purchased this building on just under 1 acre of property. The cost was $2,500, and the club paid the debt off within 2 years. Under the stewardship of the Gloucester Women's Club, this house has served as a public resource. It has witnessed the beginnings of several community groups, including Gloucester's first Girl Scout troop, a garden club, and the Gloucester Public Library. For a time, it also housed a school, and it has hosted many public information meetings. Now we continue to maintain the house for its stated purpose, quote, of promoting education, fellowship, culture, and civic improvements for the people of Gloucester County, Virginia. In following this mission, the club's directive is to own, maintain, and preserve the clubhouse building known as Edge Hill House. The Gloucester Women's Club works diligently to fulfill its purpose. In addition to other fundraisers, members sponsor a pie sale annually during the holiday season. Together, members use this facility to prepare ingredients and bake pies to sell to the community. The revenue earned through this endeavor funds the landscaping of the grounds, goes toward fixing minor house repairs, and is also used to donate to local charities. The generosity of one early member helped establish the Edge Hill House Foundation, which consults on and supports major house repairs. The most recent endeavor has been the addition of indoor plumbing to the first floor, as well as kitchen and pantry upgrades to offer a catering-friendly venue. In normal years, the Gloucester Women's Club welcomes all members of the community to visit Edge Hill House during several open house events. Local organizations sometimes host meetings at Edge Hill House, and community members can rent the house for private events. Although visitation to Edge Hill House has been restricted in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Gloucester Women's Club plans to open the house in 2021 once a week during the summer months. Please check the local paper for specific dates and times. Let me close by saying, welcome to our house, which represents a multitude of contributions over several centuries. It's a tribute to years of gutsy effort and thoughtful giving.
We hope you have enjoyed this brief visit to Edge Hill House.